So what's your postcard to the people who live on the West Island who come in every day through the Turcot interchange?
Well, it's really an ugly interchange, and it concentrates traffic and creates more problems than it solves. So I would suggest they get rid of the interchange and just have surface streets.
What would the surface streets, wouldn't that mean it would take longer to get downtown?
Not at rush hour. It might take longer at 2 in the morning.
Well, the problem is we don't have enough mass transit from the West Island.
Well, then add it. It's cheaper than building that road again.
Is it really cheaper?
I think so.
So what about land values? What about in the long run? What about people who live in the West Island? What about land values? Are their houses going to drop in value?
Well, the highest valued suburban real estate is around cities that have really good transit. Like San Francisco, the suburbs around San Francisco are rich. The suburbs around Detroit, which has a lot of things like the Turcot interchange, the suburbs have low property values. So if they want lower property values, rebuild the Turcot. It ensures they'll not be that high. If they get rid of it, they'll actually have higher property values. It's all counterintuitive, but it's true.
Would it be time to think about moving into the city?
Well, some people can move into the city, and some people can make the suburbs a better place.
Okay, let's see now.
Chacun son goût. What do you say?
Chacun a son goût.
Yeah.
Let's say, what if you were living in the suburbs, and you took this trip, and you'd say every day.
I would take the train.
You would take the train. Okay, so how are we going to force the people who...
You don't force. You give people good choices, and then they'll make the right choices. And some people want to drive. They can drive. But they don't have to drive at everybody else's expense. I mean, what's happened in Montreal is some good and some bad. You have a good transit system, a beautiful city that hasn't been totally destroyed, and you compare that to, say, Detroit, where they have virtually no transit and lots of highways, and it's ruined. So why be more like Detroit? Be more like San Francisco. They've removed 2 freeways in San Francisco, and there's no traffic problems, and the property values are stronger, the economy is better, the city's better off. There's no downside at all.
So what future...
Even the road builders are better off. They build little streets instead of giant roads.
So
lots of little streets instead of big roads.
So let's say we're now, it's a new configuration. The Turcot is no longer in its current configuration. Now we've got a whole new neighborhood people are going to drive through, going from the Falaise.
Some will drive, some will take transit.
Well, those people who continue to drive.
Some will walk, some will reorganize their trips.
Okay. But for those few people who do drive now, they're coming from the West Island, they're going through this new neighborhood that's been built.
They'll have a more pleasant trip. It might not be quite as fast during off-peak hours. It'll be faster during the rush hour because the freeways congest. You need to have roads that are connected to the city's street grid. If you don't, then if something bad happens, if there's a crash, then it just blocks all the traffic. So they're actually better off. At rush hour, they'll be better off. And it costs less. The taxpayers will save money. You build the big roads, they only last 40 years. You have to build them again. You have to repair them constantly. The roads don't pay taxes. There's just all kinds of reasons why it's a bad decision.
In other cities, when these things came through, what are people living in the suburbs? How did they react?
Well, it depends on the city. In some places they've understood it's a good idea to get rid of the road. In Europe, the suburbs don't have roads that go through the middle of the city at all. If you live in a suburb of Paris, you don't drive on a freeway through the middle of Paris. You don't have a freeway going right past Place Vendôme. Paris is a beautiful city. If you're in a hurry, don't go there. It's beautiful. Take your time, enjoy it. Shouldn't Montreal be like that? Montreal could be like Detroit, a very good city to drive through, or drive a truck through. About the highest purpose of Detroit is to drive a truck through it. Or you can be like Paris, a city that actually people would want to be in. If you want to have big roads, you can be like Detroit. If you want to have a good life, then go to Paris.
I think that says it all. Thank you very much.
Yeah, merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup.